Freelancers, graphic designers, copywriters, filmmakers, dancers, photographers, does these sound like common Indian professions to you? Well, I'm pretty sure majority of Indians still identify these as mere, hobbies. But why? Like, we have been told that the only way to success is to do what the crowd does. Like the usual government job, 9 to 5 job in a reputed MNC, doctor, engineer. नहीं तो फिर Canada और US में जाके जो करना है करो, right? But why? We have been told that not to shift to anything uncommon that the crowd doesn't do because that's too risky and you'll probably go homeless soon. Well, let me put two scenarios in front of you. First, spend lakhs on your education and settle for a job that you don't love, but you still keep doing it just because you can flaunt your annual package in front of your relatives or friends. Let's admit it, that happens, right? Second scenario, you do something that you love, something that you're passionate about, and you get up every day and you're really excited to go to work, do the work that you're doing. You start learning something every day, something new every day. You own your skills and you do something that you're really, really passionate about. You produce work that's valuable, not just to you, but the people that you cater to. Now, if given a choice, which one would you go for? Well, let me say your baju wale ghar ke uncle would still say that go for the first option because doesn't matter what, beta paisa to 9 to 5 job mein hi aata hai. But what if I tell you that's not true? What if I tell you that if you really find and use your uncommon interests, the uncommon interests that the society tells you that it's uncommon, if you use them in the right way, paisa bhi aayega aur maza bhi. Hi everyone, this is Blesson Varghese. I'm a logo and brand identity designer. I've been freelancing for the past 5 years and I call myself proudly uncommon. Well, I'm not here to share the secrets of earning more money as a freelancer, but I'm here to share the 3 mindset shifts that can help you pursue your passion and thrive as an uncommon creative artist. When it comes to uncommon interests or uncommon hobbies or uncommon professions, the first thing that we need to understand is we don't have too much of outside support that can help us thrive or pursue our passions. So the first thing that we need to do is own our uncommons. We need to realize our potential. We need to understand that we are not as same as everyone else and we need to own it. Unless and until we own our uncommon interests, we cannot produce the output that we deserve. So let me share a little bit about my story of how I got into graphic design and started freelancing. So in my school years, in my 11th standard, I opted for biology because obviously the society tells you either be a doctor or an engineer. So I thought, why not be a doctor? And I opted for biology. But few months in, I figured out that this is not for me. This is not what I'm comfortable with. But I didn't have any choice and I somehow managed to pass my 12th standard with at least good numbers. That's by God's grace. And soon after I passed my 12th standard, I decided that this is not what I'm doing. I'm not opting for any NEET exams. I'm not going for MBBS. I'm not doing any sort of medical field jobs because I'm just not comfortable doing it. And I did, a basic course. I wanted to opt for a basic course that could help me just get the graduation done. And I opted for BBA. Just for a little bit of context, throughout my school years, I never failed in any subject. I was an average student, managed to pass all my subjects. So in my BBA 5th semester, I went for campus placements and I got placed in 2 companies and I had the job offer with me. But on 6th semester, an unfortunate thing, or rather I would say a fortunate thing happened with me, was that I failed in one subject for just 3 marks. Like, can you imagine? Just 3 marks, I failed in one subject. And the job offer that I had was no more valid because I was not all clear. And I was at home waiting for the next round of exams, which was again after 6 months. And I didn't have anything to do because it was just that one subject that I had to appear for. So I decided, why not do something a little bit that's, more productive, a little bit more into the creative side because I had that creative power inside me, that creativity in me, but it never just got out. So I used these 6 months to do something into design. And I used to design business cards. I used to design posters for family and friends and events here and there. But then I jumped on Instagram and I started a page called Bless Creatics. Now, fun fact, the name Bless Creatics comes from a very weird place Because my name is Blesson. I chose the half of my name that's Bless, the short form of my name. And then I chose the word creatics, which again is quite weird if you look at it. Well, the word creatics is a combination of two words, creative graphics. So when I started out, I thought I'm going to do creative graphics. So why not just name something that has that potential to it? And I did the name Bless Creatics. And I started this page very randomly without any plan. I had no plans whatsoever to do whatever I wanted to do, but I just randomly started this page. I started posting designs. And when I started posting designs, I got more into logo design. I loved logo designing. I loved the idea of designing something from scratch for a brand, and then the brand uses it as their own symbol. So that was fascinating to me, and I started digging up more on YouTube, digging up more on tutorials, and finding out like how to do all of these things, because obviously I didn't had anyone who could help me out. And that's how I started out. I started posting more and more designs, and I started getting attraction. I started getting more engagement. And few months in, I started getting client inquiries, which was like super shocking for me, because I never imagined that you could do something like this sitting at the comfort of your home, learning from internet, and then pursuing the career. Few months in, I started getting regular inquiries, and I started doing more seriously, taking it more seriously. And a year in, I decided this is what I'm going to do full time. I'm going to be a logo designer full time, which was scary. Now when I think of it, it's quite scary, but I just took the leap. And I'm very thankful for my supportive parents, those who were with me throughout this journey. And they were a little bit skeptical, but then they were like, if you think this is what you should go for it, prayerfully go for it, and let's see what it does. So that's how I started my freelancing journey. I got the opportunity to own my uncommon interest. One of the keys to owning our uncommon interest is to listen to the voice inside of us than the outside voice that's around us. The noise that's around us is telling us to be common, to go and do what the crowd does. But the voice sometimes inside of us is telling us to do something different. Now, when you realize your true potential, when you realize your true voice that's inside of you, nothing can stop you from the outside, because you know what's inside of you, you know what you're capable of, and you will thrive more and you will focus more on that voice. So listen to the voice inside of you, own the uncommon, and try to do what you're really capable of. Now, sometimes what happens is we want to start, but we just can't start, right? That brings me to the second mindset shift, is to start now and start slow. Some of us, we know that we have that creative potential in us, or probably our friends have told us that you have that creative potential, you should pursue it, but we are not ready for it. We think that we need more resources, we think we need more experience, we think we need more social media followers, because that's a real thing right now. We think that we need more of the gadgets and tools to get started. But what if I tell you that you don't need any of these to get started? I'm not saying that you don't need any of this when you move on, but to get started, you need the basic setups. You need a little bit of consistency, dedication, and passion to get started. At the same time, you need to understand the power and true potential of social media that can help you get to the point where you want to. Start with what you have right now. Don't wait for the perfect timing to start. Don't wait for the perfect gadgets to start. I still remember I started designing on a basic Dell Inspiron laptop that had 4 GB of RAM, which was like the slowest computer that I've ever used. And I used to look at other designers using, MacBooks and all those fancy setups. And I used to think that how cool it would be for them. But I still kept going. And when I look back, I realized that the passion that I had kept me going. It was not anything else that kept me going. At the same time, some of us, when we start with a lot of big expectations. We have big dreams, we have big goals. And sometimes what happens is we focus only on the dreams, only on the big goals, and not the process. Which brings me to the third mindset shift, is to focus on the process than the output. Because over the course of 5 years as a designer, I've realized that a creative career is more about what you do in the process rather than what you achieve in the output. Because we focus too much on the output. We want everything to be perfect. We want everything to be put out in the perfect, presented way possible. Doesn't matter if it's designs, doesn't matter if it's a short film, doesn't matter if it's a poem. We want everything to be poised, we want everything to be perfect. But sometimes to make things perfect, we realize that the true idea of creativity is in the process. We have to enjoy the process rather than focus on the output. The other thing that's making us fall more leaned in into the output is social media, right? Social media has made us so much insecure about what we do, about what we put out, because we see people, those who are really experienced, those who are really famous, those who are really settled in the creative career, and we want to be like them. We start comparing ourselves to them. They have been in the journey for the past probably like 8 to 10 years, and we have only started for the last 2 or 3 years, and we start comparing our outputs to their outputs, which is not fair. Because sometimes we look at their outputs and we get so depressed that why am I not able to produce this sort of output? Little do we know that the process they had to go through to bring that output is way harder than we ever think of. So do what's in your control. Focus on what you can do. Do the most hard work possible as much as you can do, and do what's in your control and stop worrying about the output, because we don't control the output, we can control the process. So the idea is to focus on the process and not the output. So rather than comparing ourselves to others, let's start learning from them. Let's start taking inspiration from what people have. Learn the process of how people do things and then adapt the ones that fits yours. Because if we have a strong process, the output is definitely going to be strong. But if you have a weaker process, if you have a mediocre process, our output is going to be definitely weak and mediocre. So I hope that this has sparked the thought in your head to listen to the voice that's inside of you and not be affected from the voice that's outside of us. And as Indian creatives and artists, we have a lot more to struggle with. We have a lot more to deal with. But I do believe that if we find and use our uncommon interests in the right way, we can turn into a powerhouse of creators and artists that can make our country proud. And if you want a key takeaway from this talk, I want you to remember this. Don't let the society define your worth. Don't let the voice that's outside of us affect what's inside of us. Believe in yourself, believe in your passion, believe in your work, and believe in your uncommon interests, and be proudly uncommon. Thank you very much.